What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Though Show. It's your boy Dame D, and we are back with another one. Today we're going to be talking about Thursday night football and a little bit about Detroit, Philadelphia talk. You know what I mean? I have a guest that's going to join me to the show. You can go ahead and introduce yourself to the show.
I mean,
You breaking up, Q?
I said this Q Nitty from the 313.
There we go. Okay, Q dog, you was breaking up for a second. I'm like, that's crazy. We've been clear the whole time, and when we go live, you're breaking up. But no, we good, bro. What's going on, man? How your day been going?
Everything good, man.
That's good. Hold on, give me a second, Q. I'm trying to move my screen down. We're gonna probably be joined by a few. I'm waiting on Melly Mail to join us, and Big Hen to join us. He's probably gonna be joining us or shortly in a second, Q. So until then, we're gonna go in and start it up, man. We're gonna talk about tonight's matchup, man. What do you think about surprising 8-2 Patriots versus we got the 2-6 Jets coming in, in tonight's game. So give me your thoughts, give me your comments on tonight's game.
I think that the New England Patriots is going to run away. I think it's going to be a blowout. The Jets going to play good D, maybe the first two possessions, maybe.
That's the same shit I said at the beginning.
Yeah,
It's definitely right. You hit it on the nose, but it's definitely going to be a blowout. Give me your opinion, man, on the Jets. What do you think, Aaron Glenn? And the Jets. We know they're not going to make the playoff this year, but give me your thoughts on how you think they look thus far, defensive wise. We know what they look like offensively. And then also tell me, what do you think? Do you think they can turn it around this season? And we know they're not going to make the playoffs, but just give me your thoughts on how they look overall, Q-Dog.
Well, first of all, with Aaron Glenn, he wants to he wants the players that wants to play for him. That's what I'm trying to say. He want to get the players in there that's going to play for him. And defensive wise, when guys play good. Last week they had two pick sixes or something like that. They scored twice on defense.
Right.
So they got a little something going.
They do, because like I said, they started the season off like 0-4, and they're coming on their last two games on a 2-game winning streak, I should say. And tonight can make 3, right? Am I right, Q?
Right, it can make 3 in a row, something like that.
Right. So yeah, they're starting to come on. And like I said, it's a new coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new everything, so the players are trying to, acclimate themselves to the playbook, and new plays, so it's going to take a while. I remember when Dan Campbell first came in, as a head coach for the Lions, Q. I believe we were, 0-16 that first year?
Yep.
So, it takes time, but yeah, look, man, look at the New England Patriots. When what was the coach? What's his name? That retired or that left? When him and Brady left, I believe the Patriots may have only won 2 or 3 games, that year. So it takes a lot to rebuild, but look at them now. They're 8-2. Give me your thoughts on the Patriots, man. 8-2 coming in tonight's game. I believe tonight and their next win, they can lock up the division. So give me your thoughts on that, Q.
New England, they got a good quarterback in May, and they got that boy Henderson or whatever from Ohio State, the running back. He can go. Yeah. He got a few good receivers. They decent. Patriots a good football team, man.
Yeah, they are. But like most people said, Q, we gonna really see what type of team they are when they start playing the Baltimores, the Buffaloes, the Kansas Cities of the AFC. You know what I mean? So a lot of people say they have not played, in that competition yet. So but we'll definitely see, what they're made of in the coming weeks to come. You know what I mean, Q? So, but I think they'll be able to, withstand, some heat from some of these big teams, but we'll definitely see what they're made of. But let's talk a little bit about this Lions and Philadelphia matchup we got this Sunday, Q. And I'll let you lead off. What you talks about that. Give me your opinion. Tell me, do you think that we'll repeat and look like how we looked last week against Washington? I know it's a different team. They're coming in with their starting quarterback, but just give me your opinion on how we'll look against this Philadelphia defense.
We're gonna look good. We're gonna be ready to play, Dave. And ain't nothing wrong with Detroit Lions. We ready to roll. Shit, ain't nothing wrong. We ready to roll, dog. They worried about us. We ain't worried about them. But they're gonna have a new corner out there. Isn't that his name?
The Lions? The Lions of Philadelphia.
No. Philadelphia gonna have a new corner out there. They traded for him a couple weeks ago, but he hasn't played. He used to play with his last name was Alexander.
Okay, so do you think we're gonna attack that? You think we're gonna attack that? Or he a veteran that can play?
He's a vet. He used to play for Green Bay, but he was a Pro Bowler. But what I'm saying is we're gonna have to run the ball on the Eagles. Because it's gonna be difficult to throw. It's gonna be kind of difficult to throw.
And that's probably what they're gonna expect us coming in is running the ball. Jahmyr Gibbs is coming off of a career, I'm not gonna say high in rushing, but a career in overall yardage, I should say. But before we talk a little bit more about the Lions Eagles, let's talk about what happened after the game with those punches that was thrown. Do you think, and this has been going on, and I've been hearing talks all day, including yesterday, about the punch St. Brown was involved in with the linebacker from Washington. Do you think they're going to suspend St. Brown? Do you think we'll be without St. Brown for this game, Q-Dog? And we got Big Ken entering. What up, though, Big Ken?
What up, though?
You can go ahead and introduce yourself to the show, man.
This is Big Ken from the 313. What it do?
There we go. So, but yeah, Q, we were just talking about a little bit about the Lions talk. We talked a little bit about Thursday night football coming up. But yeah, Q, and I'll ask you the same question next too, Big Kid. Do you think St. Brown will be suspended for Sunday's game after throwing that punch?
Yeah, St. Brown ain't gonna be, man. He's straight. Brown ain't doing nothing. Brown all right.
Yeah, I think he's straight on that. They ain't finna suspend him for that because
you kind of breaking up, Big Ken.
I say I believe St. Brown gonna be good on that call.
Okay, I hope so, man. Because St. Brown plays a lot in our offense. And a lot of people been, I saw a lot of shows, that people put out. Which it don't show St. Brown throwing the first punch, but it do show him throwing the punch. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to ask you guys: do you think even though you guys think he'll be all right? Normally that's an automatic ejection. You saw what happened to the player that hit St. Brown. He was automatically ejected from the game, and he was suspended one game. So again, I just want to ask you guys: do you think St. Brown will be playing in Sunday's night game?
I think so.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Okay. All right, well, we got a few people watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I definitely need you guys to give me your opinion on that. Do you think St. Brown will be, a Sunday night game? But, Big Ken, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you. Tell me, what do you think? Do you think our offense will look the same, as we looked in Washington, meaning that, we'll be coming to Philadelphia. They have their starting quarterback. They won't have problems that Washington had with their offense. Tell me, how do you think our Detroit's offense will fare up against Philadelphia's defense Sunday night?
It's gonna be a real good game. I think we're gonna have to bring our number one offense, like how we brought the last game. If we come with that same attitude, I think we get them by about at least a double-digit score. At least 14, something like that. Lions the best team in the NFL.
You say double digits. Okay, that's saying a lot. And I'm and Q.
I'm gonna tell you why I always say that though, bro. I'm gonna tell you the reason I always say double digits because I feel like with the Lions in the NFL right now, you got to secure a win, you got to at least get them by 10 or 14 to me to feel good about the league.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and I'm not gonna say especially with the Lions, you know, because okay, I see you throwing up that MQ. You know, that's the Lions of old. You know, and we'll talk about that too with Matthew Stafford. You know, those guys were always giving up and blowing leads. You know what I mean? But this is an important question leading into this week's game. Q, do you think Dan Campbell will be in charge of calling all the offensive plays this week like how he did last week? You know, give me your thoughts on that. Do you think it's Johnny Morton will remain the offensive coordinator? And if so, you know, will he be splitting time with Dan Campbell calling the offensive plays?
All right. Before I answer that question, I'm gonna go way back. People seem to forget. See, the media is something else, but people seem to forget when Dan first got here. Dan was calling the plays. He let another guy call. He fired. Then he started calling the plays, man. And then Ben Johnson, when Ben Johnson came, he gave Ben Johnson his playbook. Ben Johnson added shit on what he had. That's why the offense was flowing like that. So go back to your question is, yes, Dan's gonna call some plays. Yes,
Okay.
he will be. And he
Yeah, you
will
know,
let
and as a head coach, he
hold
should be
on.
able to step in, you know, and call some plays, you know. But most people are looking at this like it's you know, like it's a negative, you know, like Johnny Morton, you know, pretty much has lost his offensive coordinator position, meaning that the head coach had to come in and call plays. But no, this probably won't be the first and last time you'll see a coach, you know, may step in and call some plays, you know. So, you know, give me your thoughts on that. So, how do you think it's going to go? Do you think there will be splitting time and calling plays, or what, Q?
You can, yeah, it'll be a Dan calling like maybe 65% of the plays, and then he'll let Johnny get in, see what Johnny got. You know, it's a team thing. That's what it is now. In football now, it's not always just one coach calling plays, bro. You got a run game coach. You got a damn passing game coach. You know, it goes down the line. So
Yeah, you know, and I'm asking you that same
it's a
question,
team thing.
Big Hen. You know, give me your thoughts on that. Do you think Dan Campbell will resume calling the plays this upcoming week, you know, or will he relinquish, you know, because look, a lot of people, like I said, look at it like Johnny Morton may be in trouble. You know, when your head coach has taken the playbook from your offensive coordinator, you know, and has come in and now is calling the plays. You know, if you were the offensive coordinator, Big Hen, would you be and worried that your job is on the line? So give me your thoughts on, you know, the whole thing. Do you think Dan Campbell will be calling the plays or he'll be splitting time with Johnny Morton?
I mean, from what we just seen, he didn't like what he seen from Morton. So, you know, I think this next game, you probably gonna see a little bit of the same thing, like them. Like Jamel said when we was talking earlier, you know, you got somebody. That was my first time seeing a Lions offensive coordinator sitting up in the booth calling plays. So I think that they might have a double perspective on the play calling. Somebody up top and somebody down low. Maybe that's what they're doing. You know, if that's what works, that's what works.
Yeah, you know, and that's how I look at it. You know, like Q said, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a team effort. You know, so you have to have the head coach to be able to step in because at the end of the day, you know, the head coach will be blamed for all the losses. You know, you don't hear about the offensive coordinator, you know, being blamed for the losses. It's always the head coach. So, you know, if you're the captain of the ship, you know, what more way to take over than, you know, having to call the plays? You know what I mean? So I think it was a good thing. You know, I think Dan came in at the right time and did that, you know, because if a ship is sinking, you want to be able to step in and repair that ship before it sinks, you know. He just did that, you know. So, but yeah, Big Ken, give me your thoughts on this week matchup with Philadelphia. You know, you got Saquon Barkley, you got the defending champions in the Philadelphia Eagles, and we are on the road. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinion on what you think Detroit, our defense is going to match up against. You know, I'll just say the high power offense of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm just gonna say this that I feel like I'm trying to get this. Okay, my phone. I feel like the Lions, like I said, we got the the best offense in the NFL. Now we probably got the best offense with one of the top 5 defensive in the league, not top 2, top 3. If everybody healthy, they just said our roster is loaded like it. So if we miss somebody get hurt, we got somebody to bag up pretty much everybody. And we just got a new tight end. So the Lions making moves, bro. I see the Eagles losing.
Okay, so
I
yeah,
see
give
I
me
see
your
the Eagles losing.
give me your thoughts on the defense. How we're going to match up. Against Philadelphia offense going down there in Philadelphia. Because it's a difference between when you play defense at home, and the defense on the road. And we talked about this the other day, Big Hen. Detroit is pretty much one of the best teams. When it comes to playing out there on the road. So talk a little bit. A little bit more about that, just the defense, and how hard it is to, play on the road and get wins on the road, but Detroit is one of those teams that, go out there and get wins on the road, so talk about that more.
Oh yeah, I think we one of the best road teams out there. Like last year, up until the end, we was whipping everybody, road or at home. But I think we had better success on the road because we lost a few of our home games when it counted. So that's why I said we finna go out there and show out and show up. Honolulu Blue gonna be out there. You know how we do from the D.
Yeah, and the fans are gonna be out there because the fans travel. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
most definitely. So
yeah.
what I'm thinking that, like I said, I'm gonna get them 10 to 14 points. I think our defense gonna show up. We got everybody healthy. Coming back for this Eagles game, we got everybody.
Yeah, and we do. Me and Q talked about that, before we actually went on the show. We've to the point where we get, last year we had motherfuckers coming off third streamers and motherfuckers coming off the practice squad. We've got to the point now where we got, our secondary guys that's been out there and that's been playing big time games. So
Davenport coming back, and he been hurt
yeah,
shit the
our
whole
starting safety.
season. But
Q,
yeah,
when is Joseph Kirby coming back? Give us talk about that, man. Most of the players that's getting ready to come back, on this defense. Our defense, boy. Listen, we're going to look so different this year in the playoff than what we looked last year. Talk about what we're going to look. This defense is going to look like Sunday night, against Philadelphia. Because we got, like I said, one of the guys from our secondary, Davenport, I believe. Coming back. I believe Joseph Kirby might be coming back. So talk a little bit about that Detroit secondary and that defense.
Do you actually me that or Henry?
Yeah, you queued
up. Oh, okay, yeah. That defense gonna be pretty good, man. You know about the Eagles, and like I was telling you earlier, Damon, that they got that new cornerback coming in. That's a Pro Bowler, been in the league for a very long time. His last name is Jameer Alexander.
From Philadelphia.
Jameer Alexander from Philadelphia, yeah. Okay. They got him in the trade about a week ago. And for our Lions defense, man, man, we like Big Hen said, we healthy, we coming back. Our secondary gonna be in there. We're gonna be ready to roll. We're gonna get some pressure on that boy. And we're going to come out there with a victory, double digits, Henry.
Yeah, and I think so, man. And I looked at I watched and I'm quite sure you guys watched the Philadelphia Green Bay game last week. Even though Green Bay did not look good offensively, their defense, was able to, pretty much hold, Philadelphia didn't look all that great themselves neither. You know what I mean? Green Bay defense was able to put a lot of pressure on Hurts, coming into that game. Their offense doesn't, to me, doesn't scare a Detroit defense. You know what I mean? We're, I believe, maybe fifth in the league, third in the league points allowed. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So I think, and I kind of can agree with you, Big Hen. It may be a double digit, win for Detroit. You know what I mean? Because Philadelphia is not the team, or not been putting up the stats that they were putting up the year that they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So you guys give me your thoughts on that.
My bad, D. I got to come back out.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we got one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best running back, in Jameer Gibbs. So
Let's talk about that, Q Dog. Jameer Gibbs. You know, he's coming off a great game. I believe a total of he had a season high. I can't believe I can't. Don't quote me yard for yard verbatim, but it definitely was a season high. You know, on overall yardage. You know, but talk about Jameer Gibbs, man. You know, one of the fastest backs in the league, explosive. You know, and let's talk about the blocking schemes because we talked about that with Big Mel. You know, he's probably going to hopefully join the show. Do you think one of the reasons why Johnny Morton was removed from the game, man, because the scheme that he had Jameer back in? You know, because I went back and I watched. Listen, I went back and I watched that game. You know, they had Jameer Gibbs back there blocking 6'4", 250-pound linebackers, man, and he was getting ran over. That's why that offensive line looked horrible that game.
You'll never see that again. You'll never see that again.
Yeah, that was horrible.
But I gotta go.
So that's
I gotta go.
On that.
I'm sorry. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I gotta go. Damn. I gotta go here. I mean, D nice. I gotta go.
Okay, go ahead. Come on back in when you can. There you go. But yeah, man, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why Dan took over calling the plays last week. We got Big Ken coming back in. Big Ken, you know, let's talk about that. You know, Big Q had to leave for a second, but yeah, you know, one of the reasons I think why Dan Campbell took over for play calling last week, you know, the blocking scheme that Johnny Morton had set up where he had Jameer Gibbs back there blocking these gigantic linebackers and getting ran over. You know, you were putting your offensive star and blocking schemes that he should have not been in. You know, so give me your thoughts on that. I think that's one of the reasons why Dan Campbell stepped in.
Most definitely, that was one of the reasons. Everybody noticed that. I believe it was he tried to run that play 3 down straight, and Jameer Gibbs was blocking, and he got ran over. So, yeah, it was definitely something that the whole world seen really that day. So
yeah, you know, and when we talked about that night, I actually went back and I watched film on that game, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, Mel was right. You know, it made our offensive line look like, you know, the line was fucked up, but really it wasn't that. It was that he was not picking up. Well, he was actually picking up the coverage. He was just they was running through him like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, he was running up against 240 pounds of straight train that's coming to seek and destroy, and he just trying to make a simple block.
See, and that's the difference, you know, when you're on defense and it's time for the offense to block, you know, that's when you hit Jameer's speed is out of play. You know, it's mano and mano. You know, you got a linebacker, you know, that's running full speed.
The whole time
trying to pick up the block.
The whole time, it should have been the other back that handles that position, that role. Montgomery should have been holding that position down. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so and I believe that's why Dan Campbell came in. You know, and like I said, Detroit is always great with, you know, with a loss coming back with a win. You know, so those mistakes were corrected. You know, and I think Detroit will go on to, you know, have a good rest of the year. You know what I mean? Long as we can stay injury free. You know, so give me your thoughts. The rest of your thoughts on you know, on the Philly Detroit game.
Oh man, that's gonna be a doozy right there. I'm gonna get everything together to make sure I have a stress-free day that day and sit up and enjoy that game because, like you said, the Lions is they're gonna have to break it. It ain't gonna be no walk in the park. I said 14 points or 10, something of that nature, but that's what I want. It could be a real close one because we got 2 good teams playing against each other, so it could be a lot closer. What I'm saying, but I just think when you got the Lions running to all cylinders like they did the last game, you know, all games ain't gonna be the same. So you can't judge. You know, it's just like boxing. They say you just as good as your last fight. It's damn near the same in football. You see what I'm saying? So we gonna bring that same momentum. We're gonna bring that same momentum that after that win with us. So we should be feeling good. We playing on the road. So anytime you playing on the road, you already got to play tough. You know, you got to bring the beast out of you when you're on the road anyway. And when you at home, you know, it's a little different. You know, you got the crowd with you. But
you got to remember, our crowd travels, so our crowd will be with us too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
Because
part. You know, we got the
it pretty
best
much was
fans
a
in the
Detroit
game.
takeover in Washington last week.
Yeah, I think we got the best fans in the game. That Honolulu Blue is devastating. You
Yeah.
know, period, point blank. But yeah, I mean, I picked the Lions to be right there to see if we continue to every time Jahmyr Gibbs and I see the youthfulness in him every time he scored a touchdown like he was meant to be in Detroit. I say that I want to say that my little 52 years on this earth that the Lions gonna win a Super Bowl with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, and hopefully it's this year here, you know, because we talked about this before you came back on to the show. And I want to say this before I say that. I think last week game will give some of the players like J-Bo the confidence that he need because before that going into that game, he had no catches, you know, the game before. You know what I mean? So that was a great
Yeah,
game for
yeah,
him. It was a
yeah,
confidence builder. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Tight end, he had a few catches, had a great game. So guys are going to be coming in on, you know, on a high, you know. So I think it'll be a great game. You know, and what was we saying before I said that? And I kind of lost my train of thought on that last one.
I forgot, but I'm glad you brought up that J-Mo because we was everybody was saying, you know, he's a $80 million guy. Why can't he get no catches? And I was starting to agree
Yeah,
with
they
a
were
lot
saying
of
he's
it, but
$100 million, $80.
80
What do you
million,
call it?
yeah, guy.
Spy. I mean, not spy, but forget the word that you call that.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
he
but
out there like just
he
out
ended
there.
up getting off. He had over 100 yards rushing this last game. I believe, and this what I believe, and if we could get the world and the Lions on track, J-Mo is that guy. I had somebody tell me that
No, he that guy, man. He showed that
he,
last game. He can go out there and
I
block.
believe that he should be getting as many yards as St. Brown.
Yeah, you know, just like how we talked about that, man. Listen, this is what Detroit got to do. You know, remember how Minnesota used Randy Moss? They was just throwing that ball down there to him, letting him go get
That's
it.
what he
You
for.
got to do that
And
with
see why?
J-Mo. You got to throw that
And
ball down the field and let that young boy go get
let
it.
that boy go get that boy. And that's what I was saying. When I say the same yards as St. Brown, not how St. Brown get his yards shortage and long, however he get them. We gonna use J-Mo for what we got him for, and that's gonna be them cross
Downfield.
route long, them bombs, and we going for every time he get it, we going for touchdown.
Right. You know, you got to be able to allow him to make explosive plays. That's what you brought him in there for his speed and to make explosive plays. Now I'll give you this, J-Mo, like last season, and some this season, he do drop a lot of passes. He has had a problem with dropping passes, you know, but the last few games besides
We gonna
the
work with him.
yeah, you know, you gotta
We gonna work with
and
him.
Goff continues to be able to go to him and try to get the ball to him. But you know, J-Mo got to do a better job at grabbing these balls and holding on to them. But last week he showed out, he showed his ass, you know, and he had a great game, man. You know, so hopefully that'll lead off into Philadelphia's
I
game.
never gave up on J-Mo because I remember what he did for us last year when he was
Right.
averaging over 80 yards a game, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you got somebody and with the speed that he got, can't nobody really check him on a one-on-one. When he right.
Right. You know,
You know
and
what
I
I'm saying?
think
So
that's what Dan is probably going to bring back, you know, to basically calling these offensive plays. I think whatever works, whatever helps the team win, you know, it's a good thing. You know, a lot of people probably look at it like it's a negative thing, you know, but you got two people making decisions on calling these offensive plays, I should say. You know, so I think it's a great thing, Big Ken.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
So
I go ahead.
no, I was getting ready to say, so yeah, man, we got another AFC game. We talked a little bit about that, you know, before you came in. You got the 8-2 Patriots getting ready to face off against the 2-6 Jets, where you got our ex defensive coordinator, who's now the head coach of the Jets. You know, give me your thoughts on that
I
matchup
thought about
tonight.
that. You got to help me out on this one. I was thinking about those two records. You remember, was it Chicago? Only thing they had to do was lose one game, and they would have got the first round draft pick, and they end up blowing that team out. You remember that? Who team was that? Was it Chicago or was it San Fran?
I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to Google it.
What they only won three games, so they got to be set up. Whereas they one of them teams, whereas they lose the rest of these games, they guarantee the first round draft pick. So I don't know. It's one of them things where
So whatever team finished last, record wise, gets the first round draft pick.
yeah, they probably gonna be right there.
Yeah. So give me your thoughts on tonight's game. You gotta think about it. They started off the season 0-4. They're on a 2-game winning streak. Tonight, can make 3. So give me your thoughts on that. They're making a little noise. They're not, a team that may go 0-16 like how the Lions did their first year of having Dan Campbell. So give me your thoughts on that. They've made a little noise. They won the last 2 games. Like I said, coming into tonight's game, tonight can make 3. So do you think the offense will be able to win 3 games in a row?
It sounds good to me. I hope my boy do get a win.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for Eric. He's
a Detroit boy, so I was happy when he got the first 2.
Right. Yeah.
To be honest with you, yeah. So I'm a sports fan and I'm loyal to who I'm loyal to. And when he was here, he did us some good. So yeah, I want to see him win as a coach, especially as a head coach.
He deserved to win. He made great decisions as a defensive coordinator. For the Lions for the last 3 years. So he's went on to be a head coach. They're starting to come on. Tonight is going to be a difficult task for them. The Patriots, they're looking good, man. 2 more games and they should be able to be able to clinch that AFC, I believe, North division. Don't quote me on that. I don't know all the AFC divisions, by heart like I know the NFC. But they're looking good, man. They got an excellent quarterback that's been playing great. Definitely, excuse me, guys. I'm still recovering from this surgery, so it's a little bit uncomfortable, with this headset over here. So I might have to remove it. But yeah, they got a great running back, great running game. So their offense is coming in, defense is excellent. So they're right there in the AFC, man. But like a lot of people said, they have not really matched the powerhouse teams. Of the AFC yet. So we really want to know what type of team the Patriots are until they start, playing some of the, the better teams.
Yeah, because they that 8-2 record they got, I really didn't think they had a record like that. So they don't got that quietly.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of
they
people
ain't really been playing nobody like you said. They ain't really been playing nobody.
Right. But tonight, we'll be able to see them put their offense and defense on display tonight. We'll be able to see the Jets come in, in a 2-game winning streak, trying to go for 3. We'll be able to see what Aaron Glenn has brought his team to thus far. And it'll be a good night, for football. But but yeah, man, it's definitely been a good night.
What time that's on? That come on Prime tonight.
It should Monday Night Football either. It may come on Prime. I have to look it up. Yeah, but
I gotta see what's
good, man.
The Pistons looking good.
One of the hottest team in the league right now.
Let's talk about it. I know they doing good. It's time.
Yeah. But yeah, man, they came back from I can't believe not can't believe, but I can't remember exactly how many points they were down, I believe, and this was Sunday night, the night the Lions beat up on Washington, but they had a comeback game that was pretty much classic, instant classic. They were able to come back, after being down so many points, and they were able to go into overtime, tie the game up, and come out with a victory. K had, I believe, 50 points, 46 points, 10 rebounds, 10 rebounds. Let me see, 48 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, and like 5 steals. So he put up like an MJ type stat, game that night. Give me your thoughts on that, man. That boy played like MJ.
Yeah, we all, he kind of reminded me of a Grant Hill.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. He reminded me of a Grant Hill, and they trying to, they developing a team around him right now. So
Yeah,
With
they
that
have.
being said, I remember they had a few people that I felt like they shouldn't get rid of, but obviously that was a good move that they made for the people that they got. I remember Joe Smith and all of them. You know what I'm saying? So they gone. We got new players.
Oh yeah, they
I got
definitely don't
I
got
got to
young,
get
man. They got a
familiar.
young squad that's coming on at the right time. They've been building that squad up from the ground up the last really 2-3 years. Getting great draft picks. And pretty much developing these players. That they've been getting. They have not picked up any free agents, no big names. So it's a squad full of young boys that's out there hungry. And that's ready to compete. And they coming on at a great time. The offense is looking good, and even the defense is looking good, Big Ken. It's always good to see Detroit Pistons team, ready to go to work, ready to go out there and play some basketball.
I was just about to say they building around him, and that's what the Pistons have never been a team of one superstar. The team was the superstars. So that's basically what they're doing. But you know, with Cade leading the way, it seemed like we're gonna be good.
Yeah, we're definitely in good hands. With him leading the way. And they definitely be coming on at a great time. We got a few people here watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and hit that button. It definitely helps the channel grow. But Big Ken, we don't cover a little bit of Thursday night football. We don't cover a little bit of the Lions. We don't even talked about a little bit of the Pistons, and how they've been coming on lately. Q Nitty joined the show. We waiting on Melly Mel to come in, but he's been having some technical difficulties that he need to figure out, how to be able to come in. So you might have to give him some help. But look, man, I don't really have anything else to add. If you have anything else to add, go ahead and add it. Let everybody know where they can reach you at and what you got going on.
Right now, you can reach me on the What Up Though show. I'm starting my own podcast soon, so you guys look out for that. But right now, you can reach me on the What Up Though show, broadcasting most of the time live about sports, mainly the Lions and boxing and football. So let's go Lions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, once again, I want you for coming on the show. Always great when you come on and give us your advice about, anything, not just sports, but
Right.
topic. I want to thank you again for giving your input, and like you said, go Lions. I don't have anything else to add. It's definitely going to be a relaxed night, watching, football tonight. I don't have any fight, any dogs, so I just want to watch, watch the Patriots, watch this offense that they've been putting up, because they have a pretty good offense, and it's we never had time to watch them. So tonight will be a great night to be able to watch New England play, and it'll be a great night to be able to watch Aaron Glenn hopefully get another win. So I think it'll be a surprise weekend. A lot of people think the Patriots is going to come in, dominate, and take the Jets out. So I'm going to go for the underdogs. I think the Jets is going to come in, riding on a 2-game winning streak and be able to get this third win. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Jets. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a score out there here. I'm going to say 21-17 Jets, get their third win. So give me a score, Big Ken, and then we're gonna go in there to close it out.
I'm gonna roll with that score. I'm gonna roll with that score you just gave. So that sounds good to me. So I want Aaron Glenn to get his third win, and Chicago doing good. I want our other coach from here to do good. So let's go, Aaron. Let's go, Aaron.
Chicago doing good. That's why we can't listen. The Lions cannot afford to lose another game because we're on top of the division.
Chicago all night. They got the same record as us.
Chicago's on our ass. Green Bay is on our ass too. We play them in a couple of weeks, so we got to continue to win. And then we got to get back at Minnesota when we see them again. But it's definitely been a pleasure talking with you, Big Ken. It's always a good one. I don't have anything else to add. If you do, here, go ahead and we're gonna close it out.
Oh yeah, everybody get ready for Sunday because the Lions gonna do what they do. All the fans that's traveling to Philly to see that game, go Lions. Lions gonna do their thing. I ain't worried about it, y'all. We gonna handle our business. We out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, there we go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Another one. It's your boy Damn D, and we are out. Peace.